This week on Zen and Not Zen, BroTime edition.
Okay, thought experiment with you.
got
Okay,
it.
just idea that reincarnation is a thing. Like
Got
there
it.
is reincarnation.
Totally.
Just say it as an option.
Totally.
Would you want to come back?
No.
Even if it was something different.
I've
like
thought about
different
this.
universe, different
shit.
different ideas, different beings. Like just in the fact of like you don't know what it's gonna be. Like you had no idea this was gonna be the incarnation you came into, and now we're here, and I'm like, for me, I'm like, this could fuck itself.
Can I re-up as a
think I'm
blue-footed
good on
booby
Earth.
in Galapagos?
Okay.
I think I'm good on Earth.
Okay.
I think I'm good on Earth. And I've thought about this before. I'm like, I feel like I've been here a million lifetimes, and after this, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
all right.
tired.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to come back as Genghis Khan?
You might have been Genghis Khan already.
I think I put in a lot of work. I think I put in
Genghis
a lot of work.
Khan.
Yeah.
BroTime.
BroTime.
Go.
Yeah, how did he seamlessly transition, seemingly, from
like music video hot guy.
right. Well, no, but he was also a singer.
Was he?
Oh yeah, Tyrese.
I thought he was just a model.
Nah, man, Tyrese had many hits.
I
Man.
got that
Let me
motherfucker was like
just pull up real
CK1.
quick.
Oh, did you know CK1 was a male and female eau de toilette or whatever?
Oh, yeah. I did know that.
Yeah,
It was
I remember
a
that,
unisex one.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what I was trying.
Yeah.
I don't know how I couldn't fucking figure that
It
with the
was
unisex name.
It was boy and girl together.
Yeah, exactly. It's an androgynous fucking smelly water.
Boy, water. I can't
But I like
play
how
any
you got
of
the French name for perfume.
Eau de toilette.
Like,
Yeah.
spot on. I couldn't think of unisex.
Not an eau de parfum, an
Yeah.
eau de toilette.
But, I nailed that one.
and then smell boy water. I can't play any of the songs because I actually got in trouble recently. I tried to upload an episode for my other podcast, and the guest had played "Kill a Cam,"
Yeah.
the song from Cameron back in the day, and it wouldn't allow me to upload to the site, so I can't play the song.
Episode
The-
got
yeah,
Because I
axed
didn't
out.
have access or I didn't have permission.
What do you need? Like, was it like 4 seconds before you could be like?
I had like maybe 2 seconds worth of time on there. It just said "Killer Cam."
Yeah.
His
Well,
name was
don't
Cam.
get this podcast canceled.
I
You're
know,
singing
right?
it
Like
now.
fucking hell. Well, that's
No,
just
dude,
me
that's
singing a cappella.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, that's not
Yeah,
Cameron.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
fucking hell.
let's give it up for our guest. Actually,
Hey, yes.
is it Cameron?
It's
Cameron,
Cameron.
because there's CAM''RON, I think.
You
right?
acknowledge
is,
it.
yes.
You pronounce the apostrophe.
Yeah.
Cameron.
I never actually. I couldn't for the life of me name of that. Don't know that song. Don't know any of that shit. I remember.
Cameron
I remember
is the,
that.
Yeah. Dipset and
hold on. What's the one
Dipset.
that...
diplomats.
Hey,
maybe it
Ma,
was.
what's
Yeah,
up? West side, all right.
Yeah.
We gon' get it on the night. I
night.
smoke, you
Like,
drink,
we
and
drink.
drink, me too.
We
We
get
got high
oh
tonight.
oh. Did you hear? Okay, news on R. Kelly, right? Not that we're following R. Kelly,
Yeah,
but
exactly. I'm like,
but-
what is that?
no, okay,
Thanks
but
for
no,
tuning
no.
into the R. Kelly podcast.
this is good for people that have grown up on his
I've
music.
heard this. I've heard this news.
From here on out until like I don't remember when, but basically until the end of our lifetimes at least, all royalties made from R. Kelly's music are going to his victims. So listen to the fucking R. Kelly music because it's all going to the
remix,
fucking.
baby.
It's all going to his victims. It's
We
all
talked
getting
about that on a
dispersed there.
previous podcast.
Yeah, I
It's
was
like,
pissed because I
Yeah.
love Remix to Ignition.
I
I,
know.
grew
No,
up
but,
on that
like,
shit.
I just
I believe
remember-
I can fly. I mean,
Well,
God, it
all
still
that shit,
cheers
though,
me
we were
up.
talking about this in the '90s when he was like dating Aaliyah, and like I knew about this like as I was Aaliyah's age. I'm like, well, that's kind of fucking weird.
I think she was always older to me, so I didn't realize she was 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
superstars
8.
always seem
Yeah,
older to us. You know,
and she
yeah.
looked old for not that I'm pulling on R. Kelly here. She looked old, but she did. She didn't look 15.
You know what I mean?
Oh
No
man,
shit,
yeah.
so
So
all
now,
that money-
so now you can listen to R. Kelly music at free will and
Thank
enjoy
God.
it because it's all going to somebody he fucked over.
You
We'll
know-
throw it on the podcast,
Yeah, right.
baby. It's not Remix to Ignition.
That was one of my favorite songs.
It's
of all
still.
time.
I was
It's
really mad
such
when
a-
that got taken away.
Fuck, man.
I do regret The Stranger did like a fucking stage performance of Trapped in the Closet maybe like 15
God,
years
that was
ago.
such a
Like it would have been
weird-
like at the Moore or some shit.
Right.
They actually did like a fucking full. Because if you heard the entire.
Oh yeah.
Seen
well,
the entire.
I don't know if I think I lost track at like 9.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like I watched
was it,
like
like,
I watched like
17 or
the I
something?
guess it would be the music
I'ma go
video,
buy
but
me a
it was
gun.
like the yeah it was like oh it was the cop that pulled you over,
I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker.
but it was
Dude,
that was like, I guess it was an album, but it was a DVD that you like watch and shit. So like that's what I like watched the entire movie. I don't
Didn't
remember
they
what
air
the
it on they aired it on MTV?
I
Like
think they
special
must have.
episodes.
Yeah.
I remember it
It's
coming
like,
out.
yeah,
in bits.
it was crazy.
Yeah, I watched. Yeah, again, like I watched to a point, and I'm like, you're now. It's like driving in a car down the freeway on a long road trip with your Jewish grandfather. He's just like literally saying what's around him now.
Right.
And it's like it doesn't make
so-
sense.
And I'm in the closet.
Oh, look at that! There's a Home Depot up there.
There's like
you're in
our
the closet.
fucking chicken
And there's some
podcast.
shoes, and there's a fucking belt.
Oh, is it an
Oh my
Escalade,
god!
Adam?
I forgot to iron my shirt
I
and the
believe
spaghetti
I
stain.
believe that's a Ford Excursion, Adam. But well, no. So it's funny because when the first song came out, I remember my buddy Landon was like, "Oh, hey, whatever. He's doing something new.
Totally.
Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
trying something new. He's doing this thing, and then it's like." Oh, the entire album, like track 2 is like he just still does that. He's like, and now we on to track 2. It's just like, oh fuck, there really isn't anything else. Like that was your one gear.
Yep. Like I especially as I've gotten older, like I really do appreciate just people trying new shit,
Sure.
especially with things that are like old media, right?
Don't give him too much credit, though. You know.
But exactly, right?
Yeah, no, we tried to, and
Hey,
they're like,
listen.
no.
Hey,
But
we
it's like, hey, you did something different, and even if I don't appreciate it, it's like whatever, that's
tried.
fine.
I'll
Did
say
you
that.
think that was gonna go for another 45 minutes though? Of like
No.
the same,
No,
like it's
hell no.
I
unbelievable.
thought max 2-part, 3-part.
Yeah,
I know,
You know?
but like, it just
Yeah.
kept
And
going.
it was long.
I couldn't even follow
like the
it
Pink
anymore.
Floyd echoes. Dude.
Yeah.
There are some tracks like that. There's like a Roots track on the Phrenology album. It's called Water, and afterwards, like there's just like 2 minutes of just like it's like listening to Freddy Krueger,
Right.
or Jason, I guess. But and I'm like, okay, so I get the art and I get the things and then the skits. We have talked about that, the '90s skits and hip hop fucking albums and shit that don't make any sense,
They
except
used
for
to
the
piss me
people
off.
that like are from that neighborhood.
God,
or
yeah,
So
we're just like,
much.
oh fuck it, hey Kim, throw another box of that Goody Mob.
What? Okay.
Oh, what's up, fellas?
But you know what? I could recite most of the ones
Yeah,
from the 90s,
uh-huh.
from fucking Wu-Tang to Outkast and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like, I don't know. There was something, there's something nostalgic just because it's our thing, But man, yeah, there's some random shit that we used to put up with. But
Remember the Mad Rapper got his own album? So you remember that bonus track? It was on like a Puff Daddy album or whatever. The Mad Rapper. He's like, and quite
No.
frankly, he's very mad. Oh yeah.
I didn't listen to Puff. I wasn't a big fan.
I didn't know I'd have to. Well, see, it's funny.
You know what song really
my
slaps
brother did.
from
Yeah.
Puff Daddy was Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life.
I like
yeah,
that
yeah.
one, and
That's a good beat.
I don't know that
But
one.
there's a
I don't
lot
even-
of people on it.
There are.
I don't even know that one.
Uh,
Bum,
brum-
bum,
Let me do it
bum,
again.
bum,
Let me do it
bum.
again for you. Brum, 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 brum.
I mean, that's sick
Like
as
that.
fuck.
That
but I-
sounds exactly right. Yeah.
That was tight.
He
there
pays
was-
Sting $2,000 a day for that "Every Breath You Take"
till the rest
sample.
of it, till,
He's gonna
till the
need
rest
that
of his
money
life.
now.
Yeah, and Sting actually there's another person that basically did something similar where but I think it's like Young Future or something like that. Maybe one of the newer rap artists, but sampled another song from Sting, not thinking it was going to be that big, different than Puff Daddy. But it ended up blowing up, and he's got a similar deal with Sting. And Sting came out in an interview
Good
recently.
for Sting. He's got tantric passive income.
Exactly. Well, he said, well, so every breath you take, the Puff Daddy sample put all my kids through college. This sample is going to put all my grandkids through college.
Yeah, that's right.
I
that's
would
right.
suggest probably more than just putting
Of
them through
course, yeah.
college.
I mean, the
In
guy's
college
already
in
made
Porsches.
$785,000 just from every breath you take. No, $5.5 million. He makes $750,000 a year from every breath you take.
Did you know that I did not know that Regulators wasn't Michael McDonald's sample?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
Did
forgetting.
we talk about that already?
No,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I believe I did,
Have we? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
totally.
forgetting. That's
Yeah.
the only track I
Yes.
I talk mad shit about Michael McDonald, but I give him a pass on that.
Okay, we're talking about Yacht Rock. Okay.
I'm more of a
This is-
Yacht Soul guy. I literally
this is
said that thing to somebody yesterday when Yacht Rock came up, and they're like, "You really Yacht Soul?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a
Oh,
thing."
yeah.
All right, so Stevie Ray Vaughan. I know you know.
That's not yacht rock.
No. I'm getting somewhere with this. Okay, do you know Stevie Ray Vaughan, right?
Yeah.
Do you know the famous guitar? He's got the SRV guitar that's
yeah.
like the Fender Strat that's all like trashed and shit.
Yes.
Okay, so that was not his guitar originally. He bought that guitar. It
Clapton's guitar?
No. Okay, here we go. Aaron gave me this. Aaron, my older brother Aaron, who is nerdy about music and loves stories just like us.
Shout out Aaron.
Right? Yeah, Aaron.
Next
big
time
ups
you're
to
in
Aaron.
town, I'm going to give you shit.
Fuck yeah, man. Fucking Astros. But so
Fuck the Astros.
he told me this story when I was down there this last couple weeks ago, that the famous guitar that Stevie Ray Vaughan plays, his go-to guitar is trash, the SRV, the Sunburst Fender, was previously owned by Christopher Cross. Christopher Cross.
Oh, actually, I did know that.
Is the person that thrashed that guitar. Apparently, Christopher Cross is a fucking amazing thrashing guitarist.
So Christopher Cross also apparently played a show filling in for Richie Blackmore in Deep Purple.
Okay.
He says he did. The concert lore says he did. The drummer denies it. But yeah, Christopher Cross apparently can fucking wail. If you're sitting in for the guitar player in Deep Purple,
Christopher Cross. I meant, like, why is Christopher Cross keeping that from us?
Yacht rock. He's making his money.
Dude, yeah. So fucking Ride Like the Wind came on at work yesterday because dude, Robin was in control of the music. So Men at Work Radio was on for like 3 days straight.
Good for you.
And dude, last night it was like it was digging deep. I'm like, fuck, we're playing the last track on Business as Usual. This is like 10 minutes long. Let's fucking go. Everyone's like busy and shit. I'm like not doing anything. But yeah, Christopher Cross, dude.
Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea he was a fucking amazing guitarist.
Wow. Sleeper cell.
And then it's funny because then I saw a meme yesterday that had him as younger Christopher Cross and him as older Christopher Cross, and it said Christopher Cross, the only person that looks like both members of Tenacious D in one lifetime.
Yeah, I did see that.
And he really does.
Yeah.
He looks,
you can't bring up that band anymore.
So
Can't bring
funny,
up that band anymore.
I know.
What, Tenacious D?
Oh yeah, they're done. They're done.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean
Jack
done?
Black.
Kyle Gass made an offhand comment about
They got Dixie chicked.
Kyle Gass on
when did that
stage
happen?
made it like literally yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Made a comment on a stage in Australia about the lack of accuracy of the Trump assassin. I'm paraphrasing. Because
They were wishing him a happy birthday, and they go, "What's your birthday wish?" And he goes, "Don't miss him next time."
It's gonna be tough. It's tough to mitigate these conversations going forward.
But Jack Black was the one who pulled the, I mean, for lack of better words, pulled the trigger on.
That is lack.
He was like, "Hey, I was blindsided by." Oh, he totally does look just like both of them. Amalgamation of both of them. But he posted something where he was like, "I was blindsided by the comment. I don't feel comfortable with the rest of the tour, and we're putting aside our creative endeavors until further notice, basically." And so I think he got really fucking pissed. And
so Kyle Gass said something offhand, and Jack Black got pissed off.
Yeah.
Is that basically okay?
Yeah.
And basically the people in the show were like, well, half were like, haha, and half were like, what the fuck? And
Yeah,
then
it wasn't
the
like
internet
super
was
well-received.
99% like, how dare you, despite the internet also being pretty staunchly against that gentleman as well.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah. But when
I
you
don't know. I
take
thought it was a pretty whatever comment. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe I'm
it's-
dead inside now, but it's just like,
Yeah,
I felt the
it's-
same way about the Dixie Chicks when
Right.
they got like canceled. I was
didn't
like,
they
they're getting
impale
canceled for this?
a fucking bush mask or some shit? I know
No,
Dave
the
Vedder
Dixie
did that.
Chicks just said we're ashamed that Bush is from Texas when they weren't in America. They were
Right.
like playing a show in England, and all of America was like, "Oh, you were on traitor soil, talking ill of our president. How dare you?" And then their entire lives got fucking up in flames.
Sorry, the chicks.
The Chicks, thank you.
I think
But they
that-
got Dixie Chicks.
Dude, sick save, Robin.
that
Yeah,
just-
that was. Thank you, ally.
it kind of shows how how thirsty we are to find somebody to blame something on, because we're just so disenfranchised or disenchanted with what's going on. It's like, why can't we hold the obvious people accountable?
Yeah.
Why do we have to start?
Why are
going,
we taking? Why are we taking out on Kyle Gass?
Right.
Well, it's
I'm not condoning what he said, by
Right,
any means.
but-
It's just like,
you
it
know,
goes
if
both
we're
The
gonna-
ways.
comment section of any internet thing is 1,000
If we're
times
gonna
worse than
extend
what
the
he said.
fucking
And
First
most of that
Amendment
is from
rights to
farms.
those shitheads at Disney World with their fucking swastikas, I mean, it's
Right.
like, what
Right,
did
yeah.
Kyle Gass really,
Yeah. Just looking for excuses,
And like, how much
man.
power does that man really have? He's in
quote
Tenacious fucking
to
D.
quote those
Right?
guys from the movie Biodome, we just want to save some trees.
Right? Well, and that's, I mean...
can't believe that was Tenacious D in that fucking movie.
Right.
know.
Like, I'm just like, holy shit, and it's like a really young Jack Black.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love watching young Jack Black. He did a
Young Jack Black.
He did an X-Files episode.
Oh yeah,
back in
he
the
pops
day.
up some
Yeah,
places where you're like, oh shit.
Well, I think his first screen thing is he's in a Atari commercial for Pitfall, and he's like
Awesome.
8.
Fucking great, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, see, like all these fucking like a lot, not all of them, but like a good portion of these, they all got their, It's like, well, yeah, I mean, you were on a fucking Nintendo commercial, so that's a leg up above, present company.
Yeah, your comeuppance, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, how'd you get discovered? I was at a mall buying socks, and some guy's like, do you want $150,000 to eat ice cream on TV? So I said yes.
Hello.
I like ice
And then
cream.
we should do a TV show with Owen Wilson. I want to be the motorcycle.
Wow.
No, Owen gets to be the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's okay. So like, this is the stuff that's like really made me think about what I text you guys about is just like being human, right? It's like I feel like I'm trying to be human now. Like I feel like I'm honestly putting effort towards trying to seem normal, trying to act human. Like even when I walk, sometimes it's like one foot, other foot, one foot, other. But I'm like, why is that voice coming into my head saying that? And it's like I don't know.
Do you think it's part like survival mode?
Part of it might be like fight or flight just keeps kicking in or something.
Yeah, like primitive shit's taking over or something. Yeah.
I'm very, very. A lot of it's been more since my darkness thing, but I'm very aware of like the thought in my head now. Like I've always known, I've always listened to it, but like I'm very aware of that observer, and it's fucking weird, and I don't know if that's part of that.
Did I send you that video? I think I might have. I can't remember if I did, but it was asking, do you talk in your brain first person, third person? Do you say I, you, or we?
Oh, fuck. What do I do?
I'm a we.
I'm a you.
I'm an us and a we.
You fucking bitch. How can you do this? You get out of bed right now. You fucking go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a you for sure.
I've switched. I don't know if I was beforehand because I can't go back and think. But before I started doing work, I think I was a you. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely a we now and an us.
But having someone ask that question, you're like, I heard that question. I was like, what a great fucking question.
I don't know what that answer
Second
is
of
right
all,
now.
Yeah.
what that says so much about how you talk to yourself, because the you is more negative.
Yeah.
I would say. I feel like and they all say 3 very different things, and I thought that was such an interesting
Yeah.
I think another podcast asked it, but I was just like, that's
a really
meta.
great
That's a
question.
great question to even just think about, because I wasn't sure at first.
Yeah.
As we talk about, trying to just kind of grind our way through the fucking world and, one foot in front of the other and stuff, I immediately went in my head, and I think about this every fucking time I'm at Costco. Do you guys put your carts back in the
Yes.
carts?
All the time. I
So
put my baskets
again,
back too.
we will
Yeah.
Make it a
fucking
point.
cease existing in a society if we don't. Fucking, I was watching like a fucking dude. Oh,
Did you know that was the reason why Mandy was like, oh, this is a girl I'm going to marry? Because she saw me put the cart back at the grocery store. And she goes, because that said everything I needed to know about you as a human. Like, it
about fucking time. By the
Yeah.
way, I'm a huge fan of just any of these little nuggets like that. But that's I literally was just like, I watched a fucking person completely able-bodied just like fucking do this over a bunch of bullshit to put the cart somewhere, and I'm just like.
Right.
Yeah. Or
like,
the
it's
ones
so
that put it
fucked up.
up on the curb.
It's
like, it
so
takes
fucked
more
up.
effort to get
Yeah.
it up on the gravel on the curb.
It is so fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's like literally I want to, like Tiffany, because it's like, again, I am not a combative fucking aggressive person, but I do stare fucking daggers at these people. But it's just like literally like if the conversation came up, be like, you are literally leaving your mess for somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
And don't fucking tell me, oh, this is what they get paid for.
Right.
Because as you can tell, that this one person is clearly overworked at Costco.
Also,
Yeah.
they have places for it
All
to live,
over the place
so there's a reason why those exist.
with
because they
appropriate
want you.
signage that says, help keep our costs down.
So you
Like-
put it back in the receptacle of where it's supposed to go, and the person that is getting paid receives those cards.
Keeps
from
those
that.
rotisseries at $5, bitch.
You know what I mean? Like it. Well, and the same thing with like serving. It just shows the lack of thought. Yes, I'm server. I'm your server.
Yeah, we're always
I
gonna,
get it played up, but there's a certain point where like you would not leave this at your house.
Nope.
You know someone else has to pick this up. Like we would have someone order a crab. I provide buckets, I provide plates, I provide napkins. They ball everything up. Mm-hmm. They leave empty shells on the fucking table. I'll come by and be like, hey, oh, just so you know, because some people, for some reason, like, forget that they have them. Oyster shells just fucking everywhere but a plate. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you know what? It's not like I'm not giving you things to assist. And it's like, do you want to eat in this mess? Right. Someone's going to have to clean it up. And it just shows, like, the lack of thought about another human being.
Right.
And the other thing is, like, toothpicks. Like, not even toothpicks, the dental picks. People come in now, leave them right on the table. I'm like, get fucked.
That's disgusting.
Get proper fucked.
Have I talked to you guys about the book I'm reading about the Harvard Happiness Study?
No.
We talked about that. There's a book I'm reading. So there's a thing called the Harvard Happiness Study. It's been going on since the 30s. It's about 80 some odd years old. Longest scientific study that we know of.
Yes.
And so there's a book finally it's coming out. A synopsis of a lot of the research done. And I won't go too deep into it, but it being in the 30s, it started off very white male centric. From these dudes at Harvard that say, hey, look at us white guys in Harvard. We've clearly made it. We're happy. Why aren't people like us? So let's study other white people not like us, right? Mm-hmm. So there was 724 people that started it. Third of those people were the white male from Harvard that feigned happiness and said, why aren't people like us? And then you had the 2/3 white inner city male from Boston. So it started off, it talks about like how, if the parameters of the experiment weren't the most broad in the beginning, but since it's been going on for 80 years, there's like, over 2,000 people now, mixed genders, mixed races, all this stuff. But the reason I bring it up is because the one thing they say in the study is like the thing that they found, it doesn't matter how much money you make, doesn't matter what your social status is, all that shit doesn't matter. It's your relationships in life. Like mm-hmm. how do you relate to the people in your life, from your loved ones, your family members, your friends, all that stuff. But also, how do you treat the people that are like your baristas, mm-hmm. are your checkout people, right? And it's like it kind of goes into the checkout, the carts, right? It's like that's another relationship. It's like that you're doing your part of the relationship that you need to do for that other person to have the job that you're so aptly willing to brandish out there that this person has because of this cart. Yeah. Well, there's still a place for that to go. And so again, it's like if that relationship is just like that, that's a good telltale sign that the rest of the relationships in your life might be suffering a little bit, because no relationship is insignificant, because they all add value in some kind of way. And if you can see the value that it's bringing to your life, even from just the eye contact from the barista, thank you so much, I really appreciate this beautiful beverage, whatever you say to that person, like that is like a positive experience that fuels you in ways that like we can now measure because we have the things to do it. But it's like the physiology and like the love that you feel and just like the good endorphins that get released from that shit. It's like, why don't we want that? Why do I need to just be a dick and save like 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds, create
Also, they don't have to provide you with carts.
No,
we could be like Europe and bring your own goddamn cart.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's...
So I think I don't know if I've mentioned this, but we have a regular at my job, and I was talking to him about like, oh, it's, my job to fucking blah, 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 shoot the shit, be nice, deal with it, blah, blah, blah. And he said something that I've never heard anyone say in fucking 20 years of basically being a professional apologist.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I have an obligation, too, to be, like, respectful and whatever while I come in here. Like, I have an obligation to not be a fucking, like, asshole. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I, like, was taken back. I'm like, wow, I've never heard that perspective coming from, like, someone who... Well, he volunteers at the fucking Husky game. Like, he's an industry guy, so it's like he gets it. He knows how the fucking service industry gets, but it's just like, oh, my God. I've never heard, like, kind of that next step obligation of outside of, like, taking, like you say, like, being nice to the barista and shit, but, like... Right. Taking that as kind of like, no, I'm going to be nice to this barista. I'm not just going to be courteous. I'm going to make an effort to be nice.
That's the least thing I could do for paying for this service, or like that's the other side of my contract, of this social contract.
Yeah,
that we
basically
together,
that was
my side of the contract.
That was his point.
I can just be
again,
a decent human
fucking
to this person.
Ruining what he said so eloquently like a month and a half ago.
Well, do you think like the whole customer is always right has
that's a load of shit?
But do you think that has ruined that mentality of it puts the status in
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
on one side than the other.
I think
when it really
whoever-
should just be equal.
It's I mean, I always say the causal without you, there's no me, so there's
Right,
that.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like cool. There's also you also can't let the fucking lunatics run the asylum either.
Yeah, right.
Well, the lovely thing about the internet is that it shows us random things. It maybe disproves a lot of the stuff we've learned, and that was one of the things that I've saw the past couple months that's been going around is like the completion of that quote. The customer is always right. That's not the end of the quote. The full quote is the customer is always right when it comes to matters of taste. So hey, if you like it, fuck yeah, you're right because you like it.
Isn't that funny that we just took that part of it and
Yeah.
just wrote it out?
Totally.
Yeah.
I've never heard that either.
No,
That's
Yeah.
100%
never.
true.
Totally. Yeah. So it's
Customers
like
right when it comes to taste.
when it comes to matters of taste. That's a
And that I
full-on
agree
quote.
with.
Yeah.
They
Well,
didn't
yeah.
like it, great.
Totally,
If
it's
you
up
did
to
like
you.
it, awesome.
Fuck yeah, man.
Well, I always said, and I say this quite a bit, because, I mean, and when we worked at Red Hook, we dealt with this a little bit, because there's a lot of beer snobbery and craft beer and whatnot. But, like, there was an element of, like, I don't even know if that was it through our kind of conversations, but it was just kind of like, who fucking cares?
Right.
It's like there's 30 taps. I've now got different versions of this, but there's 30 taps because there's 30 different fucking, whatevers. But it's like, I remember back when I was drinking, I remember one of the bar owners I used to talk to, he's like, I don't give a shit if you order your, Irish whiskey with cranberry, fucking, rocks, neat, whatever. The only way to order whiskey is your way.
There you go.
And I'm like, you're fucking absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's not my drink. I mean, I've got shit I'd rather not make. But it's like, I don't, when
Yeah.
people ask me, like, what do you think of this? I'm like, to be honest, I fucking hate brown ale, so I
Yeah.
don't like brown ales.
Right, yeah, that's on
Kevin
you.
Hackett pulled that one time. We were on, he was doing a tour, and I was in the tour. I think maybe I'm training or something like that. And I remember somebody being like, he asked somebody like, "What's your favorite kind of beer?" And someone's like, "Coors Light," and someone else was like, like making fun of him, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Like this
Yeah.
is not a competition."
Right,
But he
yeah.
like
No.
shut it down immediately, and I was like, "Yeah."
It's
I
like,
love
no,
Kevin
if you
Hackett.
said my favorite beer is Alizé, I'd be like, well, see, that's wrong.
Right, yeah.
That's Alizé. I didn't ask you what your favorite fucking prom date drink
Right,
is.
yeah.
Dude, oh my god.
Did you ever drink Alizé?
Yeah, like when I was 16 or something.
I think I had it once when I was
Yeah.
like 17.
What about the era of bartending I grew up in, club bartending, Incredible Hulks. were a big
Hypnotic
thing.
and Jaeger?
No, Hypnotic and Hennessy.
Oh, Hennessy and
Hennessy.
yeah.
Yeah, it turned this weird green color. It was disgusting. But like
Never had
so
that.
many people, and it was such an expensive drink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
you-
two
it's-
premiums.
and
it's
they're
like
it's a
fucking
one-to-one.
$18 drink.
Yeah, totally. 2 shots poured together in ice. It's just disgusting. It looked stupid.
I don't have too many regrets about drinking, but it's like not having one of those is kind of one of them. I'm dead serious. Like I
No,
fucking
it's the same.
like it's just so funny because a lot of times I'll see an advertisement for like a new beer, a new drink. I'm like, oh fuck, that sounds good. And I'm like, Robin, you literally swam in booze for fucking.
You had your chance.
you're still ahead of most of the population.
Yeah.
Dude, I was
You
talking
made
to
your
somebody
time.
about that the other day. I got out before White Claws got popular.
Oh yeah.
Like the seltzer drinks. I never liked
They're
seltzers.
fine.
Never really
I'm
took
not
it
a big
off.
fan.
Yeah, I
They're
never really.
fine.
Yeah, no, I was the thing on TV is those fucking Cutwater, those 12%
Oh, yeah.
margaritas
Oh,
in
yeah.
a can.
Yep.
I'm just
Okay.
going, man, I would get in fucking trouble with that.
Yep.
Oh, I just had a 4-pack,
with that.
officer.
My younger brother said something to me about the flavored tonics and flavored soda water beverages because I don't even like the non-alcoholic ones. They just don't have enough flavor.
LaCroix is
I
not my shit.
I grew up on sodas.
Talking Rain.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna,
Fucking
it's not
assholes.
gonna do it,
Clearly
right?
Canadian.
That
But,
shit's good.
Yeah.
But he said
Sweeter.
drinking those flavored sodas is like drinking TV static while somebody screams a fruit flavor at you.
Limoncello.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Drinking a fucking sparkler.
So terrible, man. My friend's little kid calls it spicy water.
Oh,
And that's like the
spicy
only
water,
thing that I
yeah.
really enjoy about it is listening to her say that.
That's good.
Yeah. But okay, so thought experiment with me real quick, and just because I know Robin, your views more atheist, but just thought experiment this with me, right?
Atheism is too organized for my lack of faith, Adam.
Agnostic.
Well, that believes in kind of a higher something,
You
right?
like
Okay.
atheist chaos.
Well, I mean, again, there's fucking 3,000 opinions, so I'm not gonna sit there and say one's better than the other.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm more along the lines of going, cool. I think they're all fucking wrong. I don't necessarily believe that one is,
Right,
you know.
right,
So I don't. That's why I have a problem with that. Agnostic still kind of believes in like, God,
There's
right?
something out there.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
just don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, okay, so whatever beliefs you have.
Yeah, fucking cup is half empty, bro. Quarter fucking empty. Cup. What cup?
Yeah,
Cup's
what
not even
cup?
there. We don't even have a cup to not even fill.
what is a cup?
Fuck all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's in the Hindu lore. You know, the beginning of the universe was just water for all you could see, and that's why Narayana.
I believe in karma.
Yeah.
God damn it, I believe in karma.
Oh, you do believe in karma? Okay,
I just
good
don't
on you.
believe in religion.
Yeah.
No, not at all. That's good sentence construction. God damn it, I believe
Yeah,
in karma.
God damn it.
Yeah. Okay, so thought experiment with
all
you.
right, got
Okay,
it.
just idea that reincarnation is a thing. Like,
Got it.
there is reincarnation.
Totally.
Just say it as
Yeah.
an option.
Totally.
Would you want to come back?
No.
Even if it was something different,
I've
like
thought about
different
this.
universe,
Oh,
different
shit.
different ideas,
Oh.
different beings. Like just in the fact of like you don't know what it's going to be. Like you had no idea this was going to be the incarnation you came into, and now we're here, and I'm like, for me, I'm like, this could
Wait,
fuck
can
itself.
I re-up as a
think I'm good
blue-footed
on
booby
Earth.
in Galapagos?
Okay.
I think I'm good on Earth.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, especially like going forward.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't. Well, time is. So if you could reincarnate, but time is all relative, and it's not. It's a big circle, and so if you can reincarnate back because past is happening in future,
yep.
like all whatever, maybe past. I don't know. I think I'm good on Earth, and I've thought about this before. I'm like, I feel like I've been here a million lifetimes, and after this, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
all right.
tired.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to come back as Genghis Khan?
You might have been Genghis Khan,
I
right?
did a lot of work. I think I put in
Genghis
a lot of work.
Khan.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I agree with you. I'm good on the human experience.
Yeah.
I'm good on Earth. I'm good on the human experience. If
Even
there's
as
something
like
different,
another animal, I don't want to come back as animal even because it's only getting hotter.
Yeah.
And it's I'm good on
Yeah,
the heat,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. What about you?
Almost
You wouldn't be a migratory bird?
Nah. I think I already was. I think I literally have
think I
maybe
was.
I'm the kind of person that's like checked
Either
everything.
that or
It's like,
Genghis Khan.
there's
Yeah,
those are the two, everything in
Both.
between.
You know, I texted you the other day, Kinsey was talking to you about the exploding kittens on Netflix.
Yeah.
So if you haven't
They
gotten
made that a
to,
TV show?
That's what I thought. I was like, this is going to be shit.
Isn't that a
or
that was a
fucking
game,
card
wasn't
game?
it?
Yes.
It's a
Okay,
card
I had
game.
no
Yeah,
idea.
it's a
Yeah,
card
I
game.
had no idea. But so the premise is pretty cool. So I never played the game. I think
shit.
in the second episode, I'm like, this was a game, wasn't it? But the premise of the show is that like God kind of like starts phoning it in, starts fucking some shit up, and so the council talks to God. And they're like, you got to go back to Earth and be like help humanity for a little bit. So they make him a cat and they send him to Earth. And something happens in hell, and Beelzebub kind of inherited hell and has no clout, so she has to go to Earth to try to like figure something out. So they send her to Earth as a cat. So they have these Earth cats, you know, this God cat and Devil cat, and they kind of get towards the same household, and it's hilarity ensues.
That's okay.
It's pretty good.
That's okay.
It-
I didn't because I just knew it from the game, and I was like,
Okay.
this has got to be a kids farting show or something.
No,
like that,
no,
you know what I mean?
it's fucking cool.
It's got some levels.
It's definitely,
Okay.
but it's interesting because the thing that kind of drew me in was like I told you guys a while back, a couple episodes ago or so, but I had this big hallucinogenic journey a number of years ago where I felt like I was being berated by this council of elders for fucking up Earth.
Right.
Yeah,
And then then I
yeah.
was like talking back. They clapped their hands. I became naked at them in the middle of my living room when it was raining and the doors were open.
Yeah, and then you
My
come
dogs
to
Yeah.
fully naked
Yeah.
in a
Right.
fully
Yeah.
open house. It's
Totally.
like, wow,
Like-
my neighbors totally have seen me
Like,
naked.
what is
Yeah.
going on
Yeah.
here? So
That's
as
awesome.
I'm watching that first episode, it's very similar to that. Because like God's getting berated. By no means am I saying God, but the
So
God
one of our
character-
listeners is fucking stealing our shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
We know
knew
all
we had
11 of you. We'll
listeners.
find you.
Exploding cat screenwriter.
But yeah, Sweaty Cats is fucking dope. It's really good. I just actually finished it yesterday. I binge watched it. They're only like 20 minutes long.
I heard a funny thing about hell the other day. Not a funny thing, but someone was asking Catholics different questions about religion, and he goes, why would the devil or why would Satan punish people for disobeying the same God he disobeyed?
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
wouldn't
it?
that
It would
be
be a
like
fucking
wouldn't that
huge
be like,
party.
yo dog, what's up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
You
one
get it?
of us. One of us. It
Yeah.
would be a celebration.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, everyone would probably rather party with the fucking sinners or hang out
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
the sinners.
yeah.
Well, it's just it kind of goes along with the fact that like none of this makes sense anymore.
No.
Like all the narratives are breaking down. Like I shared this the other day, but the quote that I love that I heard recently is like Newtonian physics no longer applies. Cause and effect don't work anymore. And it's like it doesn't make any sense. And like if we look at where we're going with science and the technologies is all quantum. And the little bit that I understand about the quantum world is that like the observer effect, once it's observed, it all falls apart. And the smaller we get, the more we start to observe, the more this is all seemingly falling apart. You know, we have quantum biology, we have quantum mechanics, quantum physics. There's quantum technology that's coming out now that's going to be quantum stuff in our phones. They're looking at quantum communications.
Yeah.
You know, like all this stuff. And like, as soon as you observe quantum stuff, it changes the way quantum stuff is, which I know is like worked into all the fucking ideas that are being done. But like, it seems that like this is just slowly unraveling.
That's a really good point because I feel like we are also more introspective than ever in history. Like more, not that people weren't, but more percentage of people now are having deeper. Do you disagree?
I disagree. I don't think there's any way we're gonna fucking be able to quantify that kind of like the fucking let's do a vibe check. Well, just like, shitty. You know,
but like we have more knowledge of things now than we ever have before, which makes us think. But I would
probably kind of throw that into the kind of the illusion of choice ideas because of all that. There's just so much shit. Instead of having fucking 31 flavors of ice cream, if you had 4, we'd have way quicker line.
But with his point, the more that we observe, the more it seems to be falling apart. So it seems like the more we pay attention to more things, which we have access to now than ever before, or
you know, but it's if you look at, you know, I mean, again, I honestly did not think I would sit here and be in a place where they would roll back Roe v. Wade and shit like that.
Never.
Okay.
Like I like so, and we're talking about, you know, within the same fucking my parents, you know, fucking my dad knew people that had to do fucking hotel room abortions and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like same fucking generation. I mean, my parents were a bit older. But it's like alive. That shit. Yeah, no, exactly. So it's like I didn't, you know, and this is with that information. This is with that kind of
right.
But I think that actually plays into what I think you're saying, Kinsey, is that so we're in a place now that, believe it or not, we're in one of the safest times we've ever lived in. There's not active wars all the time. We're not having to defend our fucking properties all the time.
At least
we're not
in this
like
country.
Well, no, I mean in general.
Right.
No, in general, right? Even places like Syria or like Middle East and Israel and Gaza, it's still like much smaller percentage than it has been in the past.
Sure.
Like there's still going to be conflicts, there's still shit happening, right? But that does allow us to start looking at ourselves a little bit differently, which some people can handle and some people can't. And the people that can't, that's when the shit starts acting out, because when you look at yourself and you realize that you're not liking what you hear, but you have no context or desire to do anything about it, it's going to go outward, right? The people that have an introspective kind of look at it and be like, oh shit, I don't like what I see. I'm going to start looking at things differently. Here we go, right? And so it doesn't mean that the people that are screaming louder is taking over the world and making it shittier, and the people that are looking more inwards are just allowing it to happen. There is a balance between it, but we just don't see it because one side's very loud than the other. And there might be an imbalance with it where more people feel not comfortable looking at themselves and screaming out loud, or do feel comfortable looking at themselves and trying to figure it out. But I think, okay, so and one thing that I learned recently that you know, it's like we're in evolution. We have no idea what helps, hinders, assists, all that shit with our evolution, right?
Right.
I heard a story about how dogs have helped us evolve recently, and how the impact that the species of dogs and us domesticating dogs has helped us evolve as a species. One, when we have a dog that we know that we can trust, we can now work on projects deeper because we don't have to worry about the bear that's lurking around the corner or the bobcat. We know that the dog is patrolling the perimeter, and we can build the house. We can run the electrical. We can do whatever we need to, right? But also, on a sleeping scale, we can sleep deeper because we can hear a dog breathing in our room, and we know that that's another line of defense, that something has
that
to
dog's
get
gonna
through.
hear it before you do.
Yeah,
for
right.
sure.
And so it allows us as the human to sleep deeper, get better sleep, and then we can be more active the next day and have more energy, right?
See, that shit makes sense.
And so it's like and that's a relationship, right? And so this is, you know, as chaotic as all this shit is, and it just seems like it is falling apart, like there's always an opportunity to change shit. And, like, listen to yourselves. Like, there's so many times where my intuition has said, like, hey, Adam, slow down. You're starting to get overworked. And then the next thing is like, okay, now my back starts to hurt. And then the next thing is like, now I'm sick.
Life will find a way.
Exactly, right? And I think that's similar to what's happening now. It's like we're just looking at these different ways that life is breaking down. Like the constructs of ideas of life are breaking down for all these people. And we're having such an issue with trying to figure out how to deal with it. And that's why I think, like, it's hard to be a human right now because, like, the rules we've been told to play by only work for a small percentage of people, but they seem to work for everybody. And now for the people that they aren't working for, it's like, well, what do I do with my hands?
Well, it's just like grasping on to the past. Like, the world is moving forward, and I feel like we are feeling the death rattle of the old way of life, thinking, like, of treating each other, treating ourselves, the way we see the world. Like, all the conflict seems to be coming from, but it was, and it needs to be back to what it was. It needs to be back to what it was. And, when this was better, this. And I feel like it's just energetically, we are just feeling a huge reverberance of, like, the energies wanting to, like, move forward into a different frequency, but, like, we're holding on to all these old energies. So it's creating all of this unsettling feeling that I think most of us are feeling right now, where it's like, nothing is happening to me today, but I feel something inside of me that is just like, ah.
I've actually been, there's been a lot of studies I've been reading recently about that and how they've been saying, like, this is, like, there's no real reason for us to be so scared.
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to feel this way. Like, we're working less, we're less stressed out, but there's also the correlation of now they're figuring out how much brain space it actually takes to switch between tasks. And that's going from, like, your text message to your social media, back to your email, to a conversation, to what's ever on TV, back to what's in front of you. And, like, how much that actually fucks with our brain.
Yeah.
That is one of the most exhausting things that we're finding that we never really considered, because, like, we used to be, like, almost mandated to work 60,
Explains
70
their
hours a
shitty
week.
coworkers on their phones.
Yeah.
There was something I read or I saw recently, and it was to your point, Kinsey. It's like talking about how that the reminiscence of the past and how it used to be, and we held doors for ladies and women in kitchens and whatever.
And we had
bullshit,
kids,
right?
an okay thing to have kids and be married and blah, blah, blah.
It's fucking ignorant, right? But I saw an interview with Jerry Seinfeld. And Jerry Seinfeld was lamenting about how much he missed the masculine
misogynistic,
man.
yes.
Yeah, and he's like the least masculine man I've met.
Even
He was dating a high schooler when he was in his late 30s
Yes.
on
But it's like,
Seinfeld.
what is-
So fucked.
What is
so
that all
fucked.
about?
that interview. I saw that.
It's crazy, It's
Well, he
like,
also laments that, like, he can't do comedy now because it's too PC and you can't go
Because
get
his style of
canceled.
comedy, it
Well,
was
it's like-
peak when it was, but you can't do that
Well,
now.
but see, and I initially agreed with him, and then Rob McElhenney, or however you pronounce that, from fucking It's Always Sunny's
yeah.
like, I've had no problem doing it, and I'm going, yeah, you guys have had
Yeah,
no problem
none.
doing it. Zero.
right?
But
Yeah.
you gotta
South Park
alter
is-
your fucking...
South Park has had zero problems. South Park's animated, so it's a little different, but It's Always Sunny fucking pushes a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
unbelievably so.
But they do it in a way that hadn't been done before,
God.
Yeah.
and they're constantly
Oh
moving the
my
goalpost
God.
and switching up how they do it. So it's the people that have gotten comfortable in their lane that refuse.
Yeah, it's the Bill Maher's and Jerry
Yes,
Seinfelds that are
that
fucking...
refuse to move,
had
and
your
it's
day.
like that's not how creativity works. Like
Exactly.
the thing that you do is great, but it isn't. This isn't the only way to do this thing. And for your own brain as an artist, wouldn't it be a nice, fun, challenging project for you as an artist, Jerry Seinfeld?
He's still
to
pissed
see
off
how
the
you
B
could
movie didn't work out.
Exactly, because he's trying to keep it as it was.
Now, I will concede that I do feel that comedy has gotten exponentially worse in the last 15 years.
Yeah. Well,
Like, think of, like, the
mainstream
Chappelle Show.
comedy.
Think of how fucking funny the Chappelle Show was.
Well,
do
I
you-
don't know if that's okay. So
Granted, that's also, we had Dave Chappelle doing shit with great writing, Neil Brennan. We had a lot of other great
Yeah.
things going on, but, like,
I think there's just a challenge that people haven't fully stepped towards to find new ways to make comedy funny without being so fucking offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Because clearly you can look at It's Always Sunny. There's still people out there that push the line, that do a damn good job. Tom Segura had a joke the other day that I heard that was talking about, He's like, yeah, okay, so we know people with disabilities. It's not funny. We don't make jokes about people with disabilities. It's not funny. But sometimes it's funny.
Right.
And the joke that he's got 3 examples. I'll just use one. But he said one of the examples is, okay, so there's a person, this woman, she was born in Britain. Or UK. She's born and raised in the UK. She's never left the UK. She's 30 years old. She gets hit dramatically in the head. And when she comes out of her coma, she speaks with an Asian accent. And that is a disability that happens when you get cognitive disability.
Right. I did hear about,
And he's like, that's kind of funny. And then he did the impression, which I won't do, of just a stereotypical Asian woman asking to put, like, fucking biscuits and gravy together. And I'm like, that's kind of funny, right?
Because the situation itself is funny. It's not the,
Right. So there's ways to do it. And I think that's the point. It's like, reinvent yourself, figure out a different way, because you had a lot of success this way, good on you, right? Times are changing. Do you want to be the asshole that fucking holds people back because you don't want to fucking put in the effort to change your ways? And the other side of it is, is there a need for you to be relevant right now?
Right.
Why are you still relevant? Are you relevant just for the sake of relevance? Do you need the income?
I think that's where the heart of it is.
Right.
And I also think it's a lot harder for these guys when there were maybe like 10 comics in the 80s that we knew about, and now there are literally thousands.
Well, yeah, and if
thousands of voices of different perspectives, and it's very hard to keep doing what you're doing, what you did in the 80s, when you have all these different perspectives that people are relating to now, and no one really relates to that anymore.
I love Seinfeld. I was literally watching episodes last night. I own them all on DVD, so but I will say this, it's like, cool, there's also probably the fucking gatekeeping fucking white dudes club, because he opened for Carson, for the longest time and shit, and it's just kind of like, okay, cool, when they were replacing Carson, it was Jay Leno and David Letterman, and it wasn't like they were considering fucking Richard Pryor for that role,
right?
So there is an element of that. I think that's
or God forbid Paula Poundstone, like it's just like
Paula Poundstone.
But I think there is.
What is she from?
Paula Poundstone. She was a legendary stand-up comedian.
Paula Poundstone.
But I think it is the threatening of I owned this space, and now I don't own this space anymore, and relinquishing that perceived control or power that you had in that spot, and now you're just a regular human that. It was relevant at one time, but I think it feels icky for these guys that were on top for a very long time. It was
26 years ago when he turned down a mountain of cash to cancel his show that was at its peak with his shitty finale. Like, those were all choices he made.
Right.
And then he did not have a second act. Mm-hmm. And now he sits there on a pile of fucking cash with a Pop-Tarts movie, sitting there talking about how he can't make fucking jokes anymore.
Also, can't you just, enjoy your billions of dollars? And
Larry David seems to do it a little bit better than Jerry Seinfeld.
I think, because, Larry David, you got Curb, and he just doesn't seem to be bothered because he doesn't care. That's the thing. I feel like he doesn't really...
He plays an exaggerated version of himself on an improvised show that's been on for 20 years.
But I don't think he cares about being famous or holding status.
I get the vibe he's a reluctant famous guy.
Exactly. I do this because I enjoy doing it, and my mind needs to have a project, but the end game isn't for me to be an icon. And I feel like for a lot of these guys, that's what they're clinging on to. And I'm like... That's a really great fucking example. Larry David's just doing his thing, and it just happens to work because the stakes are very low for him. Because he could just go away on a private island, but he doesn't want to because he'd be bored.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's
oh man, I don't
never
know.
saw a B movie.
I didn't either.
Saw the B movie on.
Oh shit, dude! Come on, man.
Really great.
It's really great.
I saw it on Hallucinogenics, man.
Oh, okay, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah,
it's really great.
It was fantastic.
Okay, so here's the problem with Hallucinogenics, and I had a problem with this back in the day. We'd be like, let's fucking watch Pink Floyd The Wall. Not a good movie to watch.
Okay,
but but it's just like, I don't want to watch something that's already fucking moving. I'd rather watch the TV without anything on it, because the TV now is moving. The TV is doing shit that the TV doesn't normally do. I can see the TV fucking put TV shit on TV.
I have TV while I'm watching a terry cloth towel. The towel is making shapes and sounds and colors.
I'll watch TV through the towel. Yeah.
Dude, we used to put on
Runaway Ralph. We used to watch that, the claymation.
Okay, yeah. No, we would throw on nature documentaries and then put
That's what
on
I
like
do.
Chemical Brothers behind
Yeah.
it. And it would always end up matching up.
I've talked
It
to
was
you about
fucking dope,
Santana
man.
Light Dance before,
Santana
right?
Light Dance,
Santana
yeah.
Light
Oh,
Dance.
man.
I'll need to bring that over, and we'll need to have an evening with Santana Light Dance. That was just influential shit for when I was a kid. Just fucking like lasers flying through space and then cascading over wet leaves, while Santana's like bee 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 bee.
I actually just planned my next medicine journey the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to get that done. And a tattoo.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I've been thinking about getting a tattoo.
I thought about
been
you
tattooed
the
a
other
while.
day on your darkness retreat, and I thought of the bridge on Metallica 1 the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
seen
darkness
that the whole
imprisoning
time.
me. The fucking, what was that, 3 days of that? 4 days?
5 days.
5
5
days
days.
of the bridge of Metallica 1.
Totally. And then for a little while,
Absolute horror.
for a little while, I got caught in the fucking very end where he was just the fucking torso with the mask on his face. He was like, "Kill me, kill me, kill me," and I'm like, "No, get out of my head, get out of my head."
Fucking A.
Do you think because life is like easier now, like you were saying, like the easiest time to be alive, that's why we're having such bad mental problems?
Yes, I do, because there's a lot
Because our
like
brains have been wired for a very long time to go,
Yep.
go, and and I'm not even talking about primitive stuff. It's like 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It was like, yeah.
Yep. I
Maybe
think
that's why we're having
this is okay.
hard
so
time being human right now.
If you look at it from so I read an article a long time ago about the mindfulness movement, the dangers of the mindfulness movement. Think about, and the point this article made was in the early 2000s when people like the mindfulness idea became popularized, where basically meditation. It got
white people.
Yes, right. It got to a point to where it was being rolled out in corporations, right? In corporate workshops, and like, hey, we're gonna have a mindfulness day, and everybody
Yeah,
meditate.
you usually have
Yeah.
that. You only
Yeah, right.
have that after
Pizza
a
party,
fucking holiday
mindfulness
party
day.
when somebody shows another person their dick.
Right.
No,
It's
it
like,
became it became common practice. There's corporations that it was part of their retreats, all this shit, right?
Yeah.
But what they didn't fully explain to people was what meditation really does, and it's like, yeah, you can calm your mind, yes, you can do all those things, but it slides this mirror in front of your face eventually that shows you what you actually think about yourself and the life that you live. And if you're not ready to understand that it's probably not going to be the best representation of what you're doing, or you're not supported in a way that you can integrate those ideas into something more like alchemize them into something more powerful, you're fucked, right?
Yeah.
And so, but again, nobody had really an understanding of what that was. People did, but not on those corporate
just thought it
levels
was
because
rest.
it was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to sit for 5 minutes and become superheroes. And
Let's
so
go.
all these people got exposed to that in a way and probably found a really shitty part of themselves that they weren't ready to deal with, which damaged their psyche, damaged their ego, might have turned some people might have turned some people more into that like iron fist, like I'm just going to power through life because if I think I'm an asshole, that means clearly everybody else is an asshole because I can't be the only one.
Right.
Right. And so then there's that mentality that starts to happen. So there's like,
I feel like we're like relearning how to be human in
Right.
the world we're living in right now. So like that whole like your brain being like one foot in
It
front of the
really is
other, like
awkward.
it's
It's just
just
the observer side too.
I have, I'm sound more and more like a boomer, but it's just kind of like I've got some serious concerns about like the next generation of shit coming of students.
You know what? Some fucking 40 years ago, some asshole was saying the same fucking
Yeah.
thing about you
100%,
in this
100%.
generation.
Yeah.
I didn't get 2.5 years off.
They
is
said
gonna
the same
do
thing
some
about
fucking cool
millennials.
shit.
They said the
Of
same,
course.
and we're great.
Yeah, right.
We're
I
not.
have full
We're not.
faith. I have full faith that whatever
it's gonna be
generation is
better.
going to come up, they're going to do better. They're going to do some things. And you know what? Even if they don't, who fucking cares? Right?
Well,
This
I
generation
want to be
set
very
up the
clear.
next
is
generation.
Whether
Set up the next
they
generation.
fucking invent the new Velcro or not, I'm still gonna be just burning and doing my shit. But like,
I think it's almost a good thing that they're struggling so much in school because they're like, why are we doing this
Yeah,
way?
totally.
I
The
mean,
standardized test.
doesn't work.
It
Sitting,
doesn't make
sense.
Sitting
Yeah,
at
I mean,
7 o'clock in the
I
morning
get it.
until like
My fucking knowledge of the Pythagorean theorem notwithstanding, I understand that they might need to rethink the public education system, and maybe COVID was a good fucking first step in doing that. But like, again, not really having attainable benchmarks and this kind of idea that everybody gets a participation trophy and whatnot. I think eventually you're gonna fucking get to this, Brondo's got electrolytes, and I don't know why the plants grow.
I don't think so, man. I think we've put too much emphasis on timely management of education. Like, you've got only 12 years to get
yeah. No, again, they need to fucking figure it out.
But that plays into everything. It can't just be like, oh, well, that's just its own thing. That plays to everything. That conditions our entire country. Our entire thinking. Think about the fucking age the last child you asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And how old they were. Why the fuck are we asking them those questions at that fucking age?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Until they're fucking in high school.
It clicks on the timer for
Shouldn't
me.
even be asking that in high school.
And it's the conditioning that we're in. We're so entrenched in it, we don't even realize it. And so the schooling is the biggest thing because it's the only thing that every single one of the fucking participants in the United States more or less is mandated to go through and is kind of standardized.
As we attempt to be mindful, and we all answered that question when we were 8 years old, I think 99% of us are failures because we're not astronauts and fucking
space
but
cowboys.
It gets us to start thinking about that future and not being a kid, about what I'm going to structure my life as, what I got to get my mind around, how I got to think
we're
about
not all
this.
movie stars.
They're not wired to play the game how it's been structured, and so they are struggling against it. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it is a dying thing that they are struggling against, and it will turn out to be a good thing in the future.
Yeah. There's a guy I follow, Dr. Zach Bush, and he said something a while back that I just love to think about. And it's like when you're quiet and you hear that scream from down deep inside of you, that guttural, like fucking confusing scream. It's like, be proud of that because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense.
Yeah.
And to your point, like, it's got to stop somewhere, and it seems like an entire generation is so disenfranchised with what's going on and just like not wanting to play the game, not wanting to vote, not wanting to go to school, not wanting to fucking get a corporate job, not wanting to do all this shit. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well,
we've just been placated to for so long. We're just okay with it.
It's the cynic in me is like, cool, you're also not going to want to drive Uber 50 hours a week and not do Instacart.
But if we do something completely different, we have enough money in this world for everybody to be millionaires.
Well, that's right? Yeah. But again, if we want to get into the right,
it's the mindset. We're in a mindset that is allowing us to continue in that mindset. The neurodivergent mindset seems to be the mindset that raises its hand in confusion, saying, "Hey, I don't want to play this game anymore." So is neurodivergence the wrong way, or is neurotypical the wrong way? Is neurotypical the economic way that we can capitalistically put aside our personal morals and values to step on everybody as we climb our way to the fucking top that doesn't exist? Or is neurodivergence the empathic person that raises their hand and say, "This doesn't fucking I don't understand this"? Is that the wrong person?
Well, Michael Bolton touched on this, the character on Office Space. It's like, it's a bullshit question to begin with because it's like nobody would say they want to clean shit up and you'd have no janitors. But that's the whole point is like, I mean, everyone can't just fucking go and be free to find their own fucking thing. For all I know, my calling wasn't to become a jaded fucking restaurant worker, but here we are.
But I think it is the fall of the traditional capitalist structure that not just our school, but how we make our money, how we spend our lives, how we spend our day, our lack of connection to the world around us, the natural world around us. Like, I think it's trying to make everyone fit into this one traffic lane of how we think that everything
I see a shifting more towards that, not shifting away from it. I mean, we might have a generation of people 15 years younger than me that are fucking much more like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck this. That's cool. I see now a bigger state. I see more control. I see Roe v. Wade fucking getting rolled back. So it's like, I see the exact opposite. As we shift towards a much more fucking controlling 1984 fucking dystopian franchise, we literally, we, to your point, have this, people that are, quote, challenging the norm, but also in their passivity in doing so, if I want to use that negative term, allowing the other thing to happen in this country.
Well, that's the defeating thing about it, is because it does I agree with you. Like, that's the fear, is like, I don't see Trump not winning.
Yeah,
I don't
Garen
see
fucking
this not going a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't see things getting better, but I don't think it's like, I like I was saying before, I think it's the last grasp at, like, the power grab, like, and I'm hoping, like, it's it's the darkest before the dawn. We are in the darkest before the dawn right now to the next phase of humanity, and that might not be in our lifetime, but like this will get to a breaking point that is so huge that it will break the system. We just might not see that point.
It's funny.
in our lifetime.
I wrote down power grab as soon as you were saying it because I do believe I do.
They're terrified.
Well, it's our brains are pattern making machines, right? That we continuously make patterns. We find patterns in the world so that we can save energy, so we don't have to think about things all the time. So we find these patterns, and for right or wrong, our brains has been saying, okay, penis male, vagina woman, got it. Okay, male married woman, got it. Women marry male, got it. Male,
Nuclear
women,
family, got it.
Right, you know,
Yeah.
and so we're blowing up our internal ideas of the patterns that our brains are kind of physically designed to do, and some people can handle that, some people can't, right? And that does make us so fucking uneasy because it does blow up the idea and the rules that we thought we were playing by. So the power grab idea it's in my opinion, it is that because it's like how can we disrupt individuality so much? We'll take away their rights, right? So if you're going to be an individual, if you're going to identify non-binary in whatever box you're in, whatever hairstyle, tattoo on your face, I got a penis instead of a vagina, whatever it is, I'm going to take away your rights for abortion that I can, your bodily rights. I'm going to start snatching these things back as like, look what we can do, be scared because this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Well, when you get 8.5 billion people that are like fucking pissed off because their government's not doing what they think they should be doing and taking away their rights, eventually something's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's all part of this, you know, and then we're just watching this play out. And again, this is like why I think it's so important, like it kind of goes into the idea of choose your battles, but like be the observer. Observe what's going on around you. Don't just get caught up in what's going on around you because people are screaming doesn't mean you need to join in on the conversation. Or you don't need to make sure everybody's okay, right? You can just be okay with fucking hearing people screaming, right? If there's something that you want to get involved with and you're passionate about, do you. But we're so drawn into so many of these altercations that we're not ready, one, with information to even know what we're arguing about,
Right.
or two, emotionally ready to hold the space or be even part of it.
And
right?
I also like
Well,
don't.
fence sitting doesn't historically go well.
It
Well-
can if you do what you're...
Didn't
no.
in World War II.
Okay, that's on a mass scale. This is you as an individual. That's
Yeah.
not on a fucking mass scale, right? You have a choice to sit there and be like, oh, this is an interesting conversation that these two people are having. To me, it sounds pretty ignorant. Do I think I can add value to this conversation? No. Is anybody getting hurt and I need to involve myself? No. Get the fuck out of there then.
Yeah.
Why do you got to
Yeah.
Karen up and go over there and fucking do something? Oh, I got to have my 2 cents.
Well, it's-
I'm going to say what I got to say.
Well, I've always said, like, my dad volunteers in a museum, and there's actually an exhibit of non-binary and trans people in the Navy in the museum. And one of the guys who volunteered there was like, I'm fucking against that, and he just doesn't work there anymore. And I go, well, cool, man, fucking, I don't agree with Herpaderp's thing, but he did literally the proper fucking thing, removed himself from the situation.
Right.
So like,
Totally.
right on, dude.
Yep.
In my mind,
Yep.
in
Yeah.
my mind, you know what I'm saying?
'Cause
Now,
you're not changing that man's mind.
no, but that's not.
But-
You're not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you that person at least recognize that that's not going to be as opposed to being there and then shitting all over that thing while
Right.
he's there.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is and so it's like I'm sitting there going, well, fuck.
And yelling at everybody who walks in. This is against the
So
will of
I'm
God."
sitting there going, wow, there is that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
so I
and
think
it's
that's more of what he's talking about
Yeah.
rather than fence sitting is just
Yeah.
not believing anything, but being like, do I need to insert
Yeah.
myself in
Yeah.
this? And the other thing is too, especially with the attempted assassination, I refuse to talk about it because this is a wag the dog situation.
Yeah.
And I am not. There's not going to be another
I
voice.
still need to see that movie.
Oh, watch it now.
I think it's,
Go.
yeah.
It holds up, and it is very.
Mark
Yeah.
Knopfler did the soundtrack.
But I'm not going to be another voice in the void, and it's not changing anyone.
Totally.
Whether it was staged or not,
Yeah.
it's not going to affect
Yeah.
their viewpoint of it. And if anything, it's going to drive them deeper into the ground.
Exactly.
And what I believe about it is kind of a moot point. It's not going to do anything. This is now the trajectory
Right.
of the campaign. Whether we prove it's
Yeah.
staged, not whatever, deep state,
It's kind
whatever
of
you
like
want
the
to
Kyle Gass thing. It's out there.
It's out there, and it happened.
Yep.
And whether you believe it happened one way or another, does it matter? Is it going to affect the outcome? How you think about it?
Right.
It's not.
Well, and that's, I think, that
add to it.
mindset is exactly what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
Less eloquently.
I'm not fence sitting about it, but,
But-
I feel my way about it. But I'm not gonna.
Right. I think, yeah. What I just realized what I'm trying to say is like it's okay to not have an opinion. Like the Israel-Gaza war, I have no opinion on it. I don't know enough. I haven't read enough. I haven't researched enough. I haven't watched enough to have an actual opinion on it. I have zero clout to share any kind of opinion. So
Well,
why would I even speak to it?
The
If somebody asked me that, I would tell them that.
The
No, I don't
overall
have an
majority of
opinion.
people have got zero clout to,
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
The ones that think they
understand
do,
why.
yeah.
Like, do I actually have an opinion, or am I just charged by the last story that I heard about?
Yeah,
whatever
100%.
And it
is?
doesn't mean that you
100%.
don't want the outcome that
Definitely,
is
definitely.
peace and that people
Yeah.
can walk away with their
Yep.
lives and whatever. But it's just like you yelling on the internet about it is not saving anybody's life.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like it's like not knowing the answer to a question. That it's so freeing to me now. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, what's blah 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 charge?
I would rather
anger,
people
Oh, I don't have
instead
an
of
opinion on
digging
that.
their heels into shit that they don't know talk about, just be like, hey, I'm not really educated on that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And it fucking I think it could save us so much irritation,
Mm-hmm.
self-aggravation, and all these goddamn conversations we don't want to have anymore.
God damn it.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, fucking try to be a human.
Try to be human.
One foot at a time.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.